Hey guys, we're doing something a little bit different today here on ArtosisCasts. Zerg vs. Zerg, a matchup that we don't show so often. You know, it generally just comes down to zerglings and mutas and very fast micro-intensive games that some people love and some people hate. Well, I've been thinking about this for a while, and what if you just had a slightly different rule set for a mirror matchup to make it more entertaining? That's what we're going to be checking out here today. This is a sponsored show match between StRyKeR and Hawk, two of the best Zergs outside of Korea, and there will be some rule sets involved in these 5 games. There's going to be a no mutalisk game, a no zergling game, and a no zergling and no mutalisk game, and well, 3 of those. Just to see how can this change the matchup? Can we get it to be kind of a little bit more interesting, utilize some different units? What will those units be? What will those games look like? So I'm very excited about it. I hope you are too. But before we get into it, I do want to just tell you really quickly about the sponsor of today's match. This show match is sponsored by mutalisk. When mutalisk contacted me, I was very excited to work with them because I actually bought my own mutalisk mask back in May. I'm not joking when I say this is the best purchase that I've made in years. I've actually told Tasteless about it so many times, although he has yet to get one, because I use it every single day. In fact, here's the mask that I purchased back in May. It's absolutely comfortable. So it's very, very adjustable, with Velcro all over the place. The eye cups are actually very important to me. So you can take them off and re-put them on wherever you want. And being a man with a rather large brow and nose, the fact that these are cupped like that makes this actually black out all the light while I'm sleeping. Now, as someone who stays up late streaming and playing StarCraft all night, and then has kids that get up early in the morning to go to school, finding ways to sleep more and sleep better have been on the top of my to-do list for the past year or so. And again, I'm not joking when I say I use this every single night. If I want to take a nap, I utilize this mask. I bring it with me on every single trip. I do the best to shut out any light in my room, but this just makes sure that everything is pitch black. You can open your eyes in this and you see absolutely nothing. This is a wonderful product. I stand 100% behind it. And if you'd like to get a 10% discount, go below to the description and use my code there. So here we go into game number 1. The special rules this game: no mutalisks. There's going to be, of course, yeah. Thank you, Hawk. Big thanks, of course, to Hawk and StRyKeR, two of the very best Zergs in the non-Korean scene, for agreeing to do this. Very, very much appreciated. So yeah, it's going to go game 1, no mutas. Game 2, no lings. Games 3, 4, 5, no mutas and no lings. So that's kind of the idea that we have going on here. And yeah, we'll see how it goes down. Now, I think that this game will be mostly zerglings. I think it's going to be like maybe some sunkens in there, but mostly zerglings. We'll see about that. And it seems like you'd probably want some upgrades with that as well. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Zerg vs. Zerg, I guess in each mirror matchup, there are units that kind of dominate the matchups, just the kind of the best units that the race has. In Zerg vs. Zerg, lings and mutas, those are generally considered the 2 best units in the game. They're just too strong. And then we look at Terran vs. Terran. Vultures and tanks kind of just dominate. They're so strong you can never really see too much of anything else. At least in the early game. Protoss versus Protoss. It feels like Dragoons and Reavers just really kind of are everything there. So, yeah, I'm really interested to see what these guys end up coming up with. They knew about this challenge for multiple days before playing, so they should have some very good ideas worked out as to how these games should go. Oh, that drone got stuck. By the way, of course, StRyKeR up here in the top left and Hawk down here in the bottom right on Metropolis. And Hawk goes hatch first in his main base. StRyKeR, on the other hand, going spawning pool and gas into a natural expansion. So I would guess here that Hawk is going to be a little bit more aggressive, but maybe not. Like, it looks like he's going to take an expansion instead of a gas. I think the mining gas will make you create less Zerglings, right? That kind of seems correct. Like, he's mining... he's getting the Zergling speed upgrade. Now, one thing to mention, of course, like, what I'm hoping to achieve with these matches is to get into some other tech. And obviously, with the ling, no muta games, we will. But in this particular game here, like, okay, so if mass ling is really the strongest thing, maybe we can actually get into lurkers. Maybe that's actually a thing that can occur. So StRyKeR gets up to 100 gas, which, I mean, is either going to be for an upgrade, but he doesn't have an evolution chamber, or for a layer. So maybe he rushes towards those lurkers, because, of course, lurkers would absolutely crush lings. Lurkers versus lings is one of the most hilarious things you'll ever see. No matter what upgrades you have on those lings, they're being two-shotted by lurkers. So once you get 2-3 lurkers out there, like, lings can't even connect with things. They just die as they run in. Now, evolution chamber and another hatchery. So it does look like StRyKeR is going for maybe a +1 melee attack. That actually, yeah, melee sounds like it would be much, much better than Carapace in this particular regard, because they're going to be able to kill buildings more quickly. Whereas against each other, and of course it costs 50 less gas, 50 less minerals. Against each other, oh, and he's already got melee going too. Yeah, it won't make too much of a difference. Do you have plus melee or plus Carapace? All right, so now Hawk on 3 hatches going melee plus speed. And the 3rd hatch is coming up for StRyKeR, but he's just going to have... It seems like he'll have less production. Well, yeah, of course he'll have some less production, but he's actually got way more drones. So that's kind of funny, because this hatchery was so much quicker, but Hawk is not really utilizing that as much. He's mostly just making lings right now. His +1 is a little bit faster, and he's got the better production, but being down 4 drones, it's kind of funny seeing them play like this and still be at these really low drone counts. Because I feel like if you kind of focus on drones a little bit more, like, he's just massing, so maybe there's just a massive attack coming in from Hawk. And if StRyKeR can recognize this, of course, his Overlord has taken a while to get in, but when you see this few drones there, I think you just got to make a bunch of Sunkens at home, don't you? Like, just make a bunch of Sunkens and have your lings, and, you know, part of it is the Sunkens tank a lot of damage. They have 2 armor, 2 base armor, so that helps a lot even against the +1 lings. But the +1 lings, of course, will chew through those a little bit more quickly. So just mass lings. Okay, more Sunkens coming up. And an evolution chamber for blocking. Okay. Okay. So yeah, what he's going to want to do is have a smaller surface area and have the Sunkens do lots of damage and tanking in here. Sunkens do 2-shot Zerglings. So that +1 melee, I don't think you attack as Hawk until the +1 melee is done. StRyKeR has full intel right now, making lots and lots of lings. I honestly am not sure which way this will go, but it really looks StRyKeR favored to me because he's just had more drones. Like, the Zergling count is definitely higher for Hawk right now. You can see that it's actually considerably higher because he's missing 4 drones and he's up 2 supply. So that's like an extra 10 Zerglings. And again, he will have that +1 faster. But with the Sunkens and the Defender's advantage, I think StRyKeR should be okay. And with those additional drones, like, he can technically, you know, tech up a bit more, whether that's +1 Carapace for Zerglings or potentially, like, going towards that lurker tech that I was talking about before. Okay, so here we go. This game is going to probably just be decided with this. The amount of Zerglings coming across the map is absolutely bonkers. It is hilarious. I love the extra buildings that StRyKeR has thrown down. He's sacrificing some of those drones that he was crushing with so hard before. And here we go. Does Hawk have enough to actually break through here? He's done nothing but make Zerglings in this game. going after this evolution chamber. This feels like a StarCraft 2 game, where the buildings are actually playing a huge, huge role here for the Zerglings. And Hawk, I don't think he... Wait, does he break through, maybe? I think the Zerglings are a little bit too far out in the front. Like, StRyKeR might need to pull them back just slightly, because you need to utilize that sunken. But yeah, the supplies actually get pretty much evened out here, and the sunken is still alive. More lings coming out, but they both are on 3 hatch. StRyKER still with the 1 drone advantage, although that is mining gas and not actually helpful. Okay, he's going to take that off, which makes sense. Wouldn't mind to see him throw down like another sunken, just to be safe. It does seem like he's built himself out a little bit better than Hawk here. But could we see this go back into drones? It doesn't really feel that way. I think Hawk has to keep going because he doesn't have any sort of defense. So, like, if Hawk starts droning, and of course StRyKeR can see that with his overlords, then StRyKeR can just keep making lings and then probably attack. That seems to be, I think, where we're at in this game. And he gets up on top of the sunken pretty quickly, but yeah, it doesn't quite kill the sunken off. It's still getting so many pot shots in here and has tanked godly amounts of damage. I think that's got to be it, pretty much. Hawk does not have much else left over here. He's trying to do a little bit of a run by. Finally gets that sunken, but like that thing was worth its weight in gold. GG. StRyKeR ends up winning with a slightly more defensive, slightly drone-heavier version of no mutalisks. So, we're going into game number 2 now, as StRyKeR has shown us no lings this game. So, the specialty rule set has changed. They can get to mutalisks. Now, this one, I think, is going to be more interesting. Obviously, we just saw the no mutalisks one. And, you know, the overall idea, I think, is a cool one and definitely can still have growth in it. I think there's probably better ways to play than what they did, but that's a pretty direct, straightforward, good idea from both of them. They both kind of had the same idea, and they're definitely very different players and very strong players. So, like, I think that there can be evolution with that, but this one, I think, is a little bit more wild because it's so hard to attack early on. So it's like, okay, how heavily can we drone? Can you go 3 hatch, 4 hatch before spawning pool? Like, you could do a sunken rush, I guess. Could you rush up to Hydralisks so that you don't have to get the layer and do some sort of break like that? Maybe. So I think this one is a bit more wild, just because there's no early punish that seems reasonable. So I'm expecting to see, like, probably at least 3 hatcheries from each side. Before really too much of anything else, but maybe I'll be wrong. Oh my god. So, okay. So this looks like Hawk has gone in a completely different direction. He said, you know what? I'll just drone like crazy and go mutas right away. Okay, it kind of makes sense. See, what I was thinking about in my head was, well, you could probably expand, get another macro hatch, and have spores up before mutas get there. Right? That's kind of like the overall thought process I was looking at here. So we'll see if StRyKeR is thinking the same thing as me, or maybe he'll just go into mutas off 2 hatch. But it does seem like, I guess that Hawk will get the very fastest mutas that he possibly can to try to do some harassment here. So actually, this is a really good test to see what this type of rule set could end up looking like, you know, for this matchup. You know, and as you watch these, and I would suggest to watch probably all the games and then comment, but I would appreciate comments and what you guys think about these kind of modified rule sets and whatnot. You know, I'm just looking to kind of spice up some of the matchups that people don't like quite as much, and I've been thinking about this one in particular for a long time as a very cool thing to do. So here's the 3 hatch from StRyKeR. This is the same place my brain went, which is kind of makes sense. You know, StRyKER's very much a macro-oriented player, similar to myself. Not that Hawk isn't, but like Hawk, I feel like boils down to key concepts very quickly the way he thinks about the game, which is a really good way to do it as well. You know, that's kind of the beauty, is everyone thinks about the game a little bit differently. Now, can he actually get everything up in time to defend against this very fast Spire? One thing that's coming to my mind right now that I hadn't thought of before. So with this kind of setup, if he brings Mutalisks in, yeah, okay, let's say you're making some spores, but can't he just bring a bunch of drones in and make Sunkens there to kill everything? So you're going to actually need a Sunken at each base, I think. Well, especially this one. But I think so, right? Like, that makes sense to me. So right now, a drone going out, I think this is just a scout because his Overlord's not hitting the right direction. He wants to figure out, okay, what exactly is going on over here? Are you doing the same thing as me or something different? Lair is on the way. And yeah, Hawk will get to mining there at his natural base. StRyKeR checking bottom left. His Overlord's a little bit late getting down there. Those Overlords are slow indeed. And once he gets over here and sees that this is like a new hatchery, basically, I think he'll know immediately what's going on. So, Spire going to be finishing up. And the first mutas are going to be made. So he's going to be able to make 5 or 6 mutas immediately. Okay, and StRyKeR sees this. Does he have an evolution chamber? He does not, actually. Uh-oh. Okay, there's the evolution chamber. And he's going to have to throw down a lot of spores. Like, a lot of spores. Yeah, he's going to replace these in different locations. Wait, where'd the Evo go? Where did the... Oh, he puts it down here so it doesn't get sniped. Okay. Yeah, that was like an anti-zergling spore placement, but he doesn't need that, so he puts it near the spore. So 2 spores, spore, spore, spore. Okay, this all makes sense, and he's going to go ahead and make his Spire now as well. So the mutas are coming out. He's already got 6. That's pretty darn deadly. But like I said, I feel like you might need like 2 spores at this base, but also a Sunken. And maybe like that Sunken at each base as well, because yeah, if it's like if all your drones are being picked off / turned into spores, you could have trouble with offensive Sunken, I think. Okay, the double spore, push that away. Now don't forget, Hawk is on 2 gases. He's been mining gas a long time here. All right, picks off that first drone. And yeah, doing some reasonable damage. He sees the timing of the Spire as well. Of course, Hawk is going to have more mutas for a really long time, but on the 3rd hatchery and eventually a 3rd gas, StRyKeR definitely can catch up. Hawk is taking his own 3rd base now. Carapace on the way before the Spire finishes, which is going to give him another edge. Yeah, taking a few hits, losing a muta here and there, but dealing damage for sure. The economy of StRyKeR is insane. Look at this. He had 1,200 gas before he made a mutalisk. That's crazy. It's like BGH or something. Not normally the way that you see it. I will say I like this game more than the No Zergling game so far. Definitely a bit more interesting. Hawk's killed a fair amount of mutalisks and is massing up back at home. Another creep colony going up. Makes sense. And, okay, so I do wonder if we're just going to be in the muta arms race. It feels correct for StRyKeR with the speed of which he should get this. Well, actually... You know what? When you actually look at it, this is the funny thing. You're like, well, he's way ahead because of that, right? Well, I mean, the actual 3rd gas is going to be mining faster for Hawk. Because I was going to say, like, if you look at a standard ZVZ, the guy who goes Spore, if he's behind on mutas, generally goes Hive. In Hive games. It doesn't happen often, so I shouldn't say generally, but if one player goes Hive, it's that guy. Almost every single time. So, yeah. Right now, Hawk up 2 mutalisks. His flyer carapace is slightly ahead. The burrow upgrade coming up here for StRyKeR is interesting. Maybe to just hide drones if he gets attacked. Still dealing a lot of damage with these mutalisks. So many mutas being made here on both sides. And yeah, like eventually StRyKeR is going to want to move out with his mutas. I think he has to wait for +1 flyer carapace, but I don't know if he's actually going to have more mutas than Hawk. Hawk might just keep like a 2 muta advantage or something like that the whole time. And with that faster +1 carapace, he's not going to be caught off guard. See if he starts like a +2 or anything like that as well. I think actually that would be a correct move. All right, so this is a group. Groups of mutas, of course, 11, so you can stack them correctly. He's got almost a second group there. Looks like same here for StRyKeR. Gosh, I wish there was a unit count tab. But you can see, yeah, you can actually just count with this supply, right? Use up 1 drone. So it's like they're within a muta of each other right this second. But a lot of them are in production for StRyKeR, but we're also over at StRyKER's base. And I guess he did make a couple Scourge. All right, so +2 flyer carapace got started right away here, which makes sense. The first flyer carapace prevents 3 damage, the second prevents 2, and he catches a muta. That's kind of huge, and almost catches another muta. So now we have 2 full groups. This is 22 mutalisks flying around for Hawk at the moment. If StRyKeR knew the rally, you could fly in here and mess this up. But yeah, it seems like he's trying to catch things overall with these groups. Just looking for more damage. This is the most insane meteor I might have ever seen. Hawk jumps on top of the spores, and he's going to be able to kill those so quickly. Of course, StRyKeR coming up. The spores did deal some extra damage, but he killed extra mutas in there as well, and I don't think the spores paid off enough. It looks to me like Hawk should be able to win this very, very easily from here. I think he just has more at this point. Really good understanding, I think, of this rule set and what he could get done. Yeah, you guys will definitely have to let me know what you think about this one. Should StRyKeR have made just more spores or something like that? It's because that was a little bit one-sided. Okay, we saw the no mutas game and it was pure lings. We saw the no lings game and it was pure mutas. So let's get into no lings and no mutas. All right. So we're going to be going into no ling and no muta, and we're going to play, I believe, 3 games like that to see how that goes. You know, those first 2 games went kind of how I thought it. Well, I didn't think exactly they'd look like that. I'm not surprised, though, right? These are really good Zerg players that really understand the weaknesses of Zerg and the strengths of Zerg, and they just use the most powerful stuff available to them. Good play on both sides. Kind of tied up 1-1 right now. Of course, it doesn't matter who wins what match. I've provided a prize pool to both the players equally, and just thank them deeply for trying out these kind of strange out there types of strats. Okay, so no Zerglings, no mutas. So we have to kind of learn from those games. So the no Zerglings thing we've already seen can be very good for expanding quickly. I would be really surprised if Hawk techs up quickly. It seems it would seem very weird to try to rush to Hydras off 1 base or something like that, or Lurkers off of 1 base. So I think what we'll see here again is like probably 3 hatcheries, maybe before spawning pool. Of course, there is always the chance of like a sunken rush, right? So like, let's say your 3rd base, let's say Hawk puts a 3rd base like up here, and StRyKeR goes 2 hatch spawning pool. Can he run up here and make like 3 sunkens and just kill it? Probably, is my guess. That would probably work. It's hard to imagine drones being pulled that far away to kill morphing sunkens in time. That does not seem realistic to me. So Hawk's sending out a drone right now. Another drone coming out for StRyKeR. So definitely going to see those greedy expansions, I think. It looks like this is more of a scout from Hawk. Maybe he wants another main base? I don't really know. Maybe he takes a 3rd base like you do in Zerg vs. Terran. All right, sees that Overlord flowing in this direction. StRyKeR has taken his 3rd base. So 3 hatcheries here before the spawning pool. Not a big surprise. And we'll see. Maybe they go even further than that. Could be. Imagine they just make a macro one in the main. Okay, looks like spawning pool is going to come up for Hawk. But yeah, and spawning pool for StRyKeR as well. This makes sense. This makes sense when you think about it. Because, like I said, right, like if you're going too greedy and your opponent sends a bunch of drones that just appear out of nowhere and make sunkens, you're not going to be able to save that hatch, and you're probably going to lose that game. So, like what I'm seeing, you'd imagine they have to go both go hydralisks. Right? You would imagine that that's the case. And does it just turn into pure Hydra massing? Do lurkers have a spot in Hydra versus Hydra? We know that they do when you don't ban other units because they stop zerglings and whatnot. Could there be spellcasters that you're looking to also get? Like, for instance, if you could get to Dark Swarm Lurker, of course, beats Hydra easily. If something like that happens, you could get into possibly Ultras. You could get into possibly Queens with Spawn Broodling. Right? All sorts of different things could occur here. Layer on the way here for Hawk, whereas StRyKeR just going up to Hydralisk Den and droning pretty darn hard. Could be like a 3-hatch Hydra. Could absolutely be. What if he just follows like a greedy 3-hatch Hydra Zerg vs. Protoss build? Are you going to have what you need to stop that? Like, actually, look at his drone count. 22 is 3-hatch Hydra bust. And it would be a little bit quicker because you didn't have to make any Zerglings and you went 3-hatch before pool. So, like, it'll be super, super fast. Hydralisk Den on the way for Hawk. Okay, so I'm actually getting a little bit nervous for Hawk because what I'm looking at here with Hydralisk speed already on the way and he's already getting up to these really good drone counts, I could see Hawk absolutely holding a position defensively, but both? Seems difficult. Like, if you have to utilize some sunken colonies, that seems like it would be very difficult indeed. Maybe he rushes up to the lurker. Maybe that's the idea. So Hydras are already being made here for StRyKeR on 23 drones. So he's just over. This is what normally goes into a 4th hatchery in Zerg vs. Protoss. Yeah, and there's the quick lurker upgrade. Ooh, I love it. All right, let's see. So the first Hydras are coming out, and Hawk is going to see that. And that's actually kind of scary, man. That's like a lot of Hydras already coming across the map. Now, there's a reason why we're doing multiple games like this. You know, these are going to be these two guys learning from each other about what is potentially possible. Now, Sunkens should not do that well against Hydras, right? What? He ran up the ramp and the second sunken hit missed. That's so funny. He is actually making some Hydras here as well. So mass sunkens going up. This is really interesting. Don't forget, Hydras actually don't kill drones quickly. They take a fair amount of hits to kill a drone because they deal half damage with their explosive attack. Okay, good flank. He's trying to get some drone kills. StRyKeR not going to be that effective. The lost mining time is more than anything else really here. Lurker upgrade is finishing. Now, he should try to push this Overlord away if he's going to make lurkers. That's for sure. Oh, you got to move this Overlord. Yeah, keep that vision. Okay, he picks off the Overlord. That's kind of big. I think he needs more Sunkens up here as well because, like, the Hydralisk count is going to be able to barrel through 3 Sunks relatively quickly. Looks like maybe he'll morph a Lurker here, a couple Lurkers here. Definitely feels like StRyKeR's in control of the game right now, but good static D and a higher drone count here on the other side. So StRyKeR scouts this out. Okay, he sees. Okay, it's sunken defense. And there is a Lurker on the way. And there's no Overlord near here right now. This is the closest by Overlord. And the next one is over here. So those are pretty far away. And he just buries this out front. Just kind of pushing everything back. Burrow it, burrow it. Oh my god, it died just before it got under. If he had burrowed that, I think he might save the base with it. Just barely doesn't get it. Just a little bit too far up. StRyKeR targets that one down before it gets in. So yeah, StRyKeR taking a pretty sizable advantage, I would say, here. Oh, that is so painful. I feel like my muscle memory would be making Zerglings here and having to cancel them. Man, if he had just burrowed that lurker. If he had just burrowed that lurker. So painful. Okay, couple lurkers trying to run up. Oh, no, there's actually an overlord here now. I think this game just goes to StRyKeR from here. Yeah, GG is called. Okay, but I think that's a learning game right there. That's one where I don't think we'll see another one that looks like that. So let's get into the next one. All right, here we go. Another no mutalisk, no zergling game. Again, I think that we learned a lot from there. First off, on Hawk's side, yeah, if that lurker had burrowed, I think the whole game probably looks different. It just barely died before it got underground. Maybe moved it too far forward, but he was looking for a strong position there. On StRyKER's side, it was a very straightforward idea that this would be very strong to just do a 3-hatch Hydra bust, like in Zerg versus Protoss. Kind of funny to watch that, right? So that kind of shows you how strong Zerg is in general, right? So they're basically the mutalisk and the zergling that everyone knows are just insanely good units. As soon as you ban one, their games are just massing the other. And when you ban both, it turns into what is considered one of the strongest strategies in the game, 3-hatch Hydra. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what anything's going to look like from here, but yeah, I do expect more timely defense, I guess, if someone's going to go up towards lurker. Yeah, guys, I hope that you are enjoying this match. I know so far the games have been a little bit one-sided, a little bit quickly. That's why I have asked these guys to do 5 games total, no matter what the score is, to just try to get a decent feel. And if people have other ideas for what can be done in a match like this to kind of make it interesting, let me know, and maybe I'll host something like that in the future. But definitely this is something I've wanted to try for quite some time, and I'm really happy to be able to. So, both of them expanding quickly here on Radeon. I'm just now realizing that I haven't been changing the map name. I think I've been too excited overall. Sorry about that. I'm sure people are spamming that into comments and whatnot. But oh well, what can you do? My excitement got the best of me. Now, 3rd hatchery going up, and we should be seeing that. StRyKeR with a completely different natural. You know what? This makes a lot of sense. Like, this is closer if you have to rally units up, but if you're going to play a more defensive version like what Hawk was doing, this might make more sense. Where it's like, okay, if I do end up holding on, I get a 4th base basically for free. That's the way that you think about Zerg versus Terran. Like, this is how StRyKER likes to play Zerg versus Terran, is take your 3rd base in another base's natural. So, quite interesting to see this take. Both sides, once again, opting for 3 bases before teching up. A little bit of a drone wars going on over here. Spawning pool and extractor up for StRyKER as well as for Hawk. I am excited to see, is it just going to be mass hydras against each other, or can we see a little bit more? What if we get like a lurker base defense with sunkens and stuff? Are you ever going to be able to actually break that with hydras? Do you have to go into some other tech? Are we going to see queens? Are we going to see ultras? Very hard to say. I was also considering making a rule like, well, you can make mutalisks after, you know, 10 minutes or something like that, or 15 minutes or whatever it is, just so that people would still have the tool of guardians. Because when you look at something like, okay, if it goes mass sunken, mass lurker, but I didn't want to make this my first foray into something like this too complicated, right? Like, you know, that happens sometimes where, like, we'll get a new board game in my house and it's got so many rules that I'm like, what the hell is this? Okay, so this is the first attempted offensive sunken. Hawk throws this up at the top right. He actually has another drone going. So if StRyKER is actually going to have to make this right away, and in fact, there's going to be an extra hit, and he's getting these extra hits to try to make up for that. So the armor isn't up to 2 yet. Unfortunately, the egg actually displaces the drone. And mathematically, this looks good right now. Yeah, and targeting that That drone is really, really smart. Because now this beats this, but this will beat that, right? Oh. I thought Hawk was doing that better, and then I just get totally shown. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. Okay, well, I thought it was a good idea, and Hawk obviously thought it was a good idea, but didn't end up working out maybe as he had wanted. So now he's got this nice little sunken just sitting there. Looking over at Hawk's side, it looks like he's going more towards the 3-hatch Hydra bus. He's got a few more drones than when StRyKeR did it as well. StRyKeR, on the other hand, putting down some sunkens. No Hydralisk Den, despite having a lair. So, I mean, it's either you go into Hydras, or you go mass sunken and go for, like, a crazy Zerg type of play, but Hydras deal explosive damage, so I don't think crazy Zerg would really be good enough. I guess you could go, like, ensnare with it, and that actually would probably do it. But yeah, he's droning, like, insanely here. Insane droning going on, and a lot of sunkens going up. How good are sunkens against Hydras? It's not something that we ever get to see. Really. Like, I mean, I play a fair amount of stupid things like free-for-alls and BGH and garbage like that, and like, if you're going to attack a Zerg, you generally don't bring Hydras to do it. So, yeah, don't really run into that every day. Here's that 4th base going up. 2 evolution chambers. Oh my god, I think StRyKeR's actually going to go towards Crazy Zerg. I think he's going to make a Queen's Nest here. But he definitely needs to make sure he has enough sunkens. Hawk starts to drone up, and he is getting his own evolution chamber. No additional tech as of yet. Evolution chamber, 5 sunkens in a line, 5 sunkens. I think, again, that this was going to be Queen's Nest if you're getting the double Evos. Maybe, yeah, there's melee. So he's going to go to Ultralisks. This is going to be an Ultralisk-based game from StRyKeR. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see how this turns out. And another 4th hatchery here from Hawk. So his economy is going to be really, really strong as well. Both them equal on drones at the moment. These Hydras have forced a ton of sunkens, but the sunkens are going to have some utility throughout the game. Hawk, on the other hand, has so much control of what's going on right now. By the way, I would like to see him actually send an Overlord in. That seems like maybe a missing piece to this puzzle, because he doesn't know for sure what's going on yet. So Queen's Nest is coming up. Additional drones, adding sunkens occasionally. Extra macro hatcheries. Okay. This looks like it's going to be the first really good game. Hope that you guys are still here with me. Plus ranged as well as carapace, so that makes sense. Definitely need those plus range attacks if you're going to be fighting against Ultras, although I don't think he knows that yet. I mean, you could go into Hydra as well. And don't forget, actually, this just occurred to me. Nidus Canals can be made on your opponent's creep. So I'm just throwing that out there. That is a very weird, random possibility that could be a way to move army around. Okay, catches a drone out here, it looks like. Hawk's still rallying up Hydras. So he's got a decent little group here. Obviously can't break that. Decent group here. Obviously can't break that. Extra hatcheries here from StRyKeR. I think he actually needs to add some more sunkens. I'm actually nervous. Like, what? I guess I'm just nervous that the game is going to suddenly end and we're not going to see what I want to see. The lurkers being made. Love to see it. Yeah, there's another one. Overlord speed coming up for Hawk. Very awesome. Burrow coming up here for StRyKeR. I'm not sure what he'll utilize Burrow for. Like, I guess, again, you can hide drones with it. So it's not terrible for sure. There's additional creep colonies coming up. Both of them on 51 drones. It's kind of funny to see that lineup, huh? Spawn Broodling for StRyKeR. Ooh, I love it. I love it so much. Queen's on the way as well. Well, one queen so far. As well as a Hydralisk Den. I'm almost like hyperventilating here. I'm like, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Nidus Canal to move his army around makes perfect sense. But yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Like, Overlord speed plus Broodling can help you deal with lurkers. Because when you think about it, lurkers plus sunkens should defeat ultras. Drop upgrade here for Hawk. Ooh, that makes a lot of sense as well. That makes a lot of sense as well. He might... Yeah, he's going to go scout with this fast queen. Picking off an overlord. Makes sense. 2-2 on the way. Oh, flies over Hydras, unfortunately. Okay, well, at least he has a decent idea that this is mostly Hydras. He sees speed overlord, so notice that he's putting down creep colonies. That makes sense. He's got the Nidus here. This is going to be crucial as he starts pumping out Ultras. So, Ultralisk Carapace is on the way. He's got 1-1 done. 2-2 started. +1 is done here on the Hydras. +1 Carapace will finish as well. So, similar upgrades on both sides. But I think with Hawk going up to drops, he definitely has like a potential with his attacks to deal a lot of damage. The Niduses are going to be incredibly important. Now, one thing to note, in Terran versus Zerg, once Ultras are out, dropship play becomes a lot harder to pull off because the Ultras are kind of an attack move, like pop them through the Nidus, they attack move in, and it's about critical mass to kill Ultras because of the high armor. So, to some degree, the Ultras should be countering Hydra drops. By the way, over on Hawk's side, he doesn't have the drop upgrade yet. It is almost done, but he may want to consider Spawn Broodling. Spawn Broodling on an Ultralisk is the best thing a Spawn Broodling can be cast on, actually, when you look at the overall cost, right? 200, 200. 6 supply gone with a spell. Sounds pretty good to me. More expensive than a tank. Yeah. For sure. Lot of queens coming out. I think Ensnare is actually an important one here as well. That is a lot of Hydras being fielded on this map. A couple Overlords going out to scout. So the Ultras are waiting. Okay, the Queen is going to scout that the drop is coming. That's a really, really important scout there. And he does have some Ultras in here. He's going to have to pop the rest through. Oh my god, he's going for Defilers as well. This is everything I wanted right here. So I think he might try to snipe this, or he might just look at this and say, well, you don't have anything that hits air, so I'll just keep flying around. You can't make mutas, but you sure as hell can make Scourge. That's an okay idea. I can't actually fault this. Ultras have a terrible time around mineral patches. See? Terran players, you know, I utilize this all the time against StRyKeR. Those types of spots. Looks like over here gets cleaned pretty quickly. This is really, really annoying to deal with for sure. And the Ultras are actually getting cleaned up by the Hydras relatively quickly. Looks like we have another drop over here. StRyKeR has a lot of money, man. If he can stabilize this and maybe throw down some more creep colonies, that would definitely be helpful. He just finished up another Carapace upgrade, so that's really helpful as well. But these Hydras are doing way more than I think anyone anticipated. So throws down Dark Swarm, and Hawk is just going to pick up. Another drop incoming. Oh, I like StRyKeR's idea so much. And now all these queens are out. Oh, gosh. It might not end up working out. So, a lot of Ultras popping to try to deal with this. Still over here taking damage. Oof. Okay, he's redroned a bit. Way more supply for Hawk. I think one of the big problems here is a lot of queens are made during this time, so he can just fly in and eradicate the Ultralisks. Oh, man. And I guess there's no real way to stop that, right? Like, you need to zone him out with something anti-air. I guess Scourge would have done okay. Oh, God. These positions are so strong. But his Spire was actually sniped before he could get that up, unfortunately. So, might need some Sunkens in this general area. Still being incredibly annoying here with these drops. Lots and lots of queens out. This one Hydra causing so many problems. Oh my gosh. Gosh, I love the ideas of StRyKeR here, but Hawk is just like finding every little abusive area. Just absolutely making it so difficult. Look at this, bringing three Hydras back into this area as well. Now, here come the Queens. I feel like this is going to cause a GG, because once you lose the Ultras, you're just... Yeah. Okay, he sees what's happening here. Oh, yeah. Here's some spawn broodlings going up onto some Ultras. So that's going to end it. I think that this is more in the direction of what I was hoping for, and luckily we have one more game to look at. So let's take a look. All right, so this is going to be the 5th and final game. It's actually tied up 2-2, which is kind of nice. Once again, forgetting the map name as I excitedly get into these games. That last game was a pretty fun ideas. I think the Hydra drops like just screwed up the tempo of StRyKeR a little bit too much. And yeah, what can you do from there? Because then Hawk's able to just make his own queens. Whereas if his tempo doesn't get screwed up, I think he hits like a pretty big Ultralisk timing attack most likely, maybe with Ensnare in there. And it's going to be hard to kind of switch over into that. So, I mean, I hope that we see something like that again, but they might try something completely new just to try to give us some flavor here. Hard to say, but we're on Dominator, a 3-player map, so you can't really take other mains like we saw from StRyKeR, or most likely not. Once again, it's no mutalisk, no zergling. Yeah, and I think I mentioned already, but it's tied up 2-2, so it kind of makes it interesting in that regard as well. So let's see how this goes down in our final game of no mutalisk, no zergling. Yeah, maybe it would be better with time gates on some of these units. Like, for instance, those Hydra drops would not have worked if there was a time gate on zerglings where it's like, yeah, 12 minutes you can make zerglings, right? Or 12 minutes you can make mutas or something like this. Or it's like, okay, you know, these aren't going to kill someone right away. Maybe you want to bank up for them a little bit, maybe not. But, yeah, that might be something to consider. If I were to ever do other matches like this again, let me know if you are interested in that as well. But yeah, thank you guys very much, of course, for tuning in and enjoying. And there you go. There you go. All right. Hatcheries going up on both sides very quickly at their naturals. Probably third bases will come up as well. It'd be surprising otherwise. Drones going out towards those third bases with the gases, of course, as to be expected. You can't put that pressure on. I liked that Hawk tried the little sunken rush. If StRyKeR had not dealt with it correctly, you know, you might end up getting a victory there off of just a sunken colony or a couple sunken colonies. Could see, you know, I could see something like it. For instance, he brought 1 drone to the third base that last time. What if you bring 3? You just bring 3 right up and just make them instantly, and your opponent has like 1 drone there. That I would think that should kill it, right? You would think so. I don't know. I love the theory crafting type thing. Like, what should this look like? What could this look like? I've actually been doing that a lot in my head for Terran vs. Terran and Protoss vs. Protoss to see if there's something interesting that can be done in there as well. And I am going to be doing a Terran vs. Terran one as well, considering a Protoss vs. Protoss. But yeah, hope that you guys will enjoy that one also and are enjoying this one. All right, so third bases are coming up still. You can see gas being mined. You know, this is probably a little bit harder to hold via sunken colony, and obviously doesn't have that 4th base behind. I think that was an important aspect of the Radion game, where because he took the other natural and made mass sunken, he was still able to take a 4th at a similar time to what Hawk took it. In fact, he took it a little bit faster, which made the game, you know, a little bit more dynamic maybe. Okay, so Hydralisk dens going down on both sides very quickly. It looks to me like it might just be 3-hatch Hydra versus 3-hatch Hydra. StRyKeR a little bit late on one of these Overlords, it seems. Yeah, a few more drones able to pop out there for Hawk, and he's getting even another Overlord. There's the Overlord there for StRyKeR. Seems like StRyKeR's doing a more cheesy variant. He's on 19 drones here. Whereas Hawk is getting a fair amount more. Might put him on the back foot defensively. But I feel like with travel distance added in, probably Hawk's build is a little bit better, is what comes to mind for me. But of course, we don't know yet. We will see. Hawk actually starts his Hydralis production a little bit faster. And yeah, it looks like actually StRyKeR is droning super heavy now. So maybe we're going to end up in about the same place. So I take it back. All right, first Hydras are popping out. Just going to hide this from that Overlord. Probably do not want to show it right away. Show your hand, what you're up to. Couple Sunkens going up here for StRyKeR, playing a little bit more defensively. Not surprising to see. Again, he's a big-time macro player. So for him, a lot of it's about surviving to the late game where his mechanics can just crush people. Macro hatch over on Hawk's side. Okay, so StRyKER's up one drone. It's hilarious how they end up on like exactly the same worker counts so often. Especially in an unmapped thing like these weird Zerg vs Zergs. You know, because that's like that's the thing about it. Like a lot of times in matchups in mirror matchups you will end up on very similar worker counts, but it depends on the build order a little bit. Like, but if you're doing something similar like this, you'll end up on similar counts. But yeah, where this isn't as mapped, it's like, well, did someone maybe think you wanted an extra round? And it's like, no, we're both pretty happy with where we're at. All right, small group of Hydras running around. Looks like StRyKeR may be trying to attack into that third base as a surprise. Maybe he's going to try to suicide on the hatchery or something like that. Just right-click it and sack the Hydras to kill a base? Could be, but there's another hatchery there. So, like, even if he does, there's still some mining that can take place. So, here come those Hydras from StRyKeR. Definitely an interesting tactic he's utilizing here. Oh, he's going to go after drones first. Get some damage on that Hydra as well, and then going to go after the hatchery. Or, oh, he moves into a high ground position. So, anything that comes up to defend, he's going to have a slight advantage against with some missed shots. So Hawk just going to kind of walk up into it, but StRyKER's attack doing a great job. Hawk was a little bit lower there. And during this time, StRyKER's actually droning up as well. StRyKER going to pull out with 3 Hydras. Oh. Okay. Okay. We had some of our own run-bys here, it looks like. And Hawk with just like a small group down here. Those will get cleaned up. And these being sent home as well. The one Hydra in the main base still harassing. Super annoying. But as you can see, it takes a Hydra a lot of shots to kill a worker. Probes are actually the weakest against them because the shield's taking full damage. Part of the reason why that's so painful. My SCVs fight Hydras if they come at my base. So... yeah, it ends up getting a few kills there. Worker count is still StRyKER favorite, though. Hawk not getting any drones up here as of yet. StRyKER getting that +1, whereas Hawk is absolutely not. He doesn't really have too much going on other than Hydralis production and some Overlords to unsupply block. And does have a bit more supply at the moment. I feel like StRyKER's doing a pretty good job with like these little groups, but as Hawk cleans them out like a little bit more efficiently and just continues his production, it feels like Hawk might be able to just overrun StRyKER coming up here. Now, StRyKER's getting the lurker upgrade, so if he can get some lurkers out, that's going to be huge. But I actually think Hawk's attack is going to just kind of walk up and maybe bust through. Because look at the drone differential. Like, if he had 9 more Hydras, I wouldn't be worried about him. But he doesn't. He only has this small group. So Hawk comes up and gets a little bit of a surround, getting some damage onto these Hydras. Well, it looks like Hawk is going to be able to break through, and this is not something I can imagine StRyKER being able to come back from. If he already had some lurkers, maybe, but GG is called. So Hawk is going to go ahead and end up winning this 3-2, but that's not really what this was about. A big thank you to Hawk and StRyKeR for playing. And a big thank you to mutalisk for sponsoring the show match as well. Again, if you want to check them out, look at my links in the description below. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this Zerg vs. Zerg series and the ideas behind it. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the various rules, and if there's some other way that sticks out to you that this could be improved, or whether it's fun, or hey, maybe it just wasn't your cup of tea. But do let me know. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.